Hey there, history buffs. Welcome back to another deep dive into the events that have shaped our world. Today I'm diving into a story that's been unfolding for over a decade, the Fall of Bashar Assad. This is a tale of power, conflict, and the indomitable spirit of the Syrian people. Now let's rewind to the year 2000. It was a time of hope and transition for Syria. Bashar Assad, an ophthalmologist turned politician, assumed power in Syria after the death of his father, Hafez al-Assad. The younger Assad was seen as a potential reformer, someone who could modernize Syria. Bashar's reign started with promises of reform, but things took a dark turn. Fast forward to 2011, a year that would change everything. Inspired by the Arab Spring, Syrians took to the streets demanding freedom and democracy. Assad's response? Brutal crackdowns. The government's heavy-handed tactics only fueled the fire of dissent. This was the spark that ignited the Syrian civil war, a conflict that would devastate the nation. For 13 long years, Syria was a battlefield. Cities were turned into war zones and the lives of millions were upended. Assad clung to power, supported by powerful allies like Russia and Iran. Their backing allowed him to maintain his grip on the country. But his army's indiscriminate bombings and chemical attacks on civilians drew international condemnation. The world watched in horror as the humanitarian crisis deepened. The country was torn apart, cities reduced to rubble, millions displaced. Families were forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge wherever they could. The war saw the rise of extremist groups like ISIS, complicating the conflict further. These groups exploited the chaos, adding another layer of suffering for the Syrian people. The world watched in horror as the humanitarian crisis unfolded. Aid organizations struggled to provide relief amidst the ongoing violence. Yet through it all, Assad remained defiant. He refused to step down, despite the mounting pressure from both within and outside Syria. But the tides began to turn. The prolonged conflict and economic hardship started to erode his support base. By 2024, the economic toll of the war became unbearable. The Syrian economy was in shambles, and the sanctions imposed by the international community crippled the regime. Syria's economy was in shambles, sanctions crippled the regime, and public dissent grew louder. People were no longer willing to endure the suffering. Even Assad's key allies began to distance themselves. The international community started to see him as a liability rather than an asset. In a dramatic twist, Assad's own inner circle started to fracture. Key figures within his government began to turn against him. Facing mounting pressure, he finally agreed to step down, marking the end of the Assad dynasty that ruled Syria for over 50 years. It was a momentous event in the history of the region. The fall of Bashar Assad is a stark reminder of the devastating cost of clinging to power at any cost. The consequences of his actions will be felt for generations. It's a tale of resilience, suffering, and hope for a better future. The Syrian people have endured unimaginable hardships, yet their spirit remains unbroken. So what's next for Syria? The future is uncertain, but there is hope. The road to recovery will be long and challenging, but the spirit of the Syrian people remains unbroken. They are determined to rebuild their country and their lives. Their fight for freedom and dignity continues. The world must support them in their quest for a better future. Thanks for joining me on this journey through modern history. The story of Syria is a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. If you found this video insightful, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shape our world. Your support helps us bring these important stories to light. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world around you.